Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're actually validating a habit that, honestly, a lot of you probably feel a little guilty about. We're going to reveal the profound psychology behind why we sometimes just can't help but skip all the way to the end of a story, or, read the entire Wikipedia plot summary before we've even properly begun. So let's just dive right into this. Have you ever started reading a brand new book, or maybe you're settling in to watch that highly anticipated new show, and you suddenly feel this overwhelming, almost magnetic urge to just skip straight to the last page or the final episode to see exactly how it finishes? Well, if you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you're definitely not alone.
Now, to everyone else, it probably looks like you're just ruining the story for yourself, or maybe just giving in to impatience. But psychology tells a totally different story here. This isn't some bad habit. It's actually a highly specific, learned psychological blueprint that your mind actively uses to navigate stress. You aren't ruining the story at all. You're just adapting to it.
Looking really closely at our sources, we uncover what we call the spoiler instinct. And the true goal of this instinct is surprisingly simple. It's all about removing uncertainty to calm your nervous system down before you invest your emotional energy into a plot. It's literally a protective measure. Your brain is essentially asking for a guarantee on the emotional return before it fully commits to the ride. Which brings us to Section 1, craving closure and control. This whole craving starts with a core truth about human cognition. The brain genuinely struggles when things feel unclear. The mind quite literally hates unfinished answers. When an outcome is completely unknown, you're just desperate for closure. It keeps you constantly searching for certainty to resolve that deep discomfort of an unknown outcome. So, by flipping to the end, you're giving your brain exactly what it's been screaming for. Because of this, we naturally find a lot of comfort in control. Unpredictable plots create heavy uncertainty, and that uncertainty actively generates stress. But knowing the outcome, that turns the unpredictable chaos of a suspenseful story right into manageable safety. It's like taking a roller coaster and turning into a calm, scenic drive. It immediately gives you back this profound sense of control over your own emotional state.
Moving on to Section 2, silencing the overthinking loops. I want you to think of the mental state of suspense, kind of like physical clutter in a really messy room. Unresolved issues, or that intense, lingering suspense we feel, they create a very real, low-level tension and mental pressure right inside your head. It's essentially a background noise of stress. And just like you can't fully relax in a messy room, your brain just can't fully relax in a messy, uncertain plotline.
For folks who are prone to anxiety, an unknown plot triggers this constant imagination of what could possibly go wrong. And that constant analysis leads straight into an incredibly draining cycle of mental exhaustion. So bypassing the whole thing by just reading the ending, that becomes the ultimate life hack to stop the mental drain before it even begins. Suddenly, that intense, pulse-pounding murder mystery is a whole lot more relaxing when you already know the butler did it, right? By simply finding out the ending, you instantly remove that low-level tension and mental pressure we were just talking about. It provides your brain with this quiet, soothing sense of relief. And, ironically, knowing the ending is exactly what finally allows you to actually relax and enjoy the book's journey, rather than spending the whole entire time feeling painfully anxious about the destination.
Let's look at Section 3, predicting loss for safety.
Now, this actually relates deeply to your background. If you grew up in an environment that felt unstable or unpredictable, well, your mind might have adapted by developing a psychological defense mechanism. Your brain essentially started predicting loss as a way to protect you. So you're constantly preparing for endings that haven't even happened yet, just so you won't be caught off guard when the other shoe finally drops. And this defense mechanism applies directly to your reading or your viewing habits. Skipping to the last page, or, say, checking a website like doesthedogdie.com before you commit to a movie is a highly practical way for your brain to start preparing early. You really want to know if a beloved character dies, or if things go horribly wrong, just to ensure you aren't caught off guard emotionally. And this proves a pretty fascinating point about human nature. When people experience instability in their real lives, their brain fundamentally shifts its priorities. You start prioritizing a consistent, safe emotional anchor over a highly intense, suspenseful roller coaster. So when you skip to the ending, you're actually proving that you don't chase excitement, you chase safety. You just want the consistency of knowing exactly what is going to happen.
Which leads us right into Section 4, your new psychological blueprint.
When we put all of these psychological pieces together, the truth becomes pretty clear. Reading the ending first isn't just a simple bad habit to feel guilty about, and it absolutely isn't some character flaw. It is a profound, deeply ingrained tool that your very smart brain uses to protect your nervous system. It's not about being impatient at all. It's entirely about how your mind learned to handle the world around it.
And once you recognize this deep-seated need for psychological certainty in your reading habits, it kind of acts as a mirror. You start seeing your daily behaviors, your relationships, and your reactions in a completely different way. I mean, if your brain is working this hard to protect you while you're just reading a simple paperback, what else is it doing behind the scenes? It leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to ponder. Once you understand these patterns, what other invisible patterns is your mind following every single day? Something to think about. We'll catch you in the next explainer.